What is up, guys? I'm Speo with the Voice of Reason, coming at you today with a quick video on vocal gating. Now usually if you want to creatively gate something in Reason, you'd go for the alligator device, which was introduced in Reason 6. But if you're still on Reason 5, or if you want more control over the individual gating patterns, you should use the Matrix Pattern Sequencer, which is an awesome device for all kinds of shit. And today we're gonna apply the matrix to an NNXT with a vocal sample inside it, and we'll see what happens. I've prepared a quick little example just to show you guys what this should sound like. So as you can hear, the vocal gets gated with the gate sequence down here, which makes for some cool kind of choppy effects. Let's get to recreating this setup. Let me just quickly reconnect the audio so you can actually hear what's going on within Reason. So now let's create an NNXT advanced sampler. And inside that sampler we'll chuck in a vocal sample which I just downloaded off freesound.org. It's a very simple one-note sing-songy kind of sample. There you go. And what I'm gonna do first is to get rid of this first kind of harsh S sound, I'm gonna bring up the start a bit to about 12%. Because I don't want that harsh S sound in there. Also what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit right click on the sample and select set root notes from pitch detection. This allows me to now play the sample as I would play a piano or a synth, and it'll actually be in key. Cool. Now let's get to the actual gating stuff. First up, I'm gonna hold down Shift and create a matrix pattern sequencer. Then I'm gonna flip the rack around and connect the gate CV to the master volume in CV on the NNXT sampler. Now in the sequencer, I'll reselect the NNXT, hit play, and let's see what we got. As you see, it's as simple as that to create this gating effect with the matrix. You just have to hook up the gate CV to the master volume CV in on the sampler, and there you go, basically. A couple of things I'd like to do is, first up, I'll bring down the polyphony to 1, because I'm not planning on playing any harmonies, and this way I make sure that I don't play any, well, bad sounding harmonies by mistake. Let me just hit play. Of course, now in order to hear the sound you're playing, you always have to hit play on the button down here. Or if you're in a combinator, you'd have to hit the run pattern devices button up here to actually hear what's going on, because of the matrix will only play when the sequencer plays or when this button is pressed on the combinator. And only when the matrix plays, you can actually hear the gating and hear the sound. What I'd like to do as well, though, is apply some studio effects to the sampler to get a bigger and more interesting sound going. So I'm just gonna hit unison in the create menu, and I'm gonna bring the dry wet down a bit. And then I'm gonna apply loads of reverb, because that's always a good idea, except in some cases it's not. But here it is. So loads of reverb, and let's see what we got. Jesus Christ. There you go. Already sounds pretty interesting, but what I want to do now is I want to have even more movement in my vocal sample. So I'm going to switch this slider up here to curve and hit randomize pattern. So I can actually see the curve that is created randomly right here. And now I could change it if I wanted it to be different, but I like it how it looks great, doesn't it? So I'm going to flip the rack around now and connect the curve CV to the filter cutoff CV in on the NNXT. Then I'm going to flip the rack around again and bring down the filter frequency just a bit to -30, and then I'll give it some resonance. Now the curve CV is actually controlling the frequency on the filter, which gives it some more movement, and with the resonance a bit more kind of an electronic effect sound. And another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the steps to 32 and hit randomize again. So we get a nice long randomized pattern, which should now give us a very interesting, complex and inspirational sound. So you can hear it's a really kind of well, vintage effecty kind of sound, and I dig it loads, and I'm probably gonna use it in an upcoming production or something. But that's pretty much all there is to vocal gating using the matrix. I hope this tutorial was useful. Remember, always hit a randomized pattern on the matrix. If you're not content with how things sound, then you'll just get a brand new pattern and a brand new sound, which you can then work on and change if you want to. Okay, have a good one, guys. I'll see you next time.